So I was having coffee this morning. It's Monday morning, and at 7 a.m. on Mondays, I meet with a mastermind group, the brainchild of my dear friend Bob Linz. I'll talk about a mastermind group in a future video. Before the main part, the mastermind part of our morning began, we were just chatting, and of course the economy came up. And what was really interesting to me is that of the 6 people at the table, we all felt quite certain that the economic news was going to get worse, that there would be more problems, more challenges, more companies and banks would fail. And yet none of us, not one of us, was depressed. Not one of us was frightened. Then, after the mastermind meeting, I met with my dear friend Stephen Sloan. Stephen is a fabulous person. I'll talk about him in future videos too, I'm sure. And Stephen and I were talking about what is it that keeps us from being afraid. Well, one thing that I know is that 7 or 8 years ago, as I entered into the menopausal transition, I noticed that fear and ambition didn't motivate me anymore. Now, I'm not claiming that I'm not ambitious and don't have fear, because that's not true at all. However, fear and ambition aren't sufficient to get me to start a project and follow it through. It's just not worth it. I just won't put my time and energy and creativity out in the service of fear or my own ambition. Well, this created a bit of a motivation gap, in fact, quite a motivation gap for several years, until I worked out a new way to relate to the question, why act? What matters? What do you do? What came to me can be best summed up in a phrase that I hear Byron Katie use often: why not? You see, when fear and ambition drop away, and when we're no longer motivated by the possibility of loss or danger, motivation, the impetus to act, can only come, as far as I've been able to tell, from the desire to create, from participating in the pure phenomena of creation. Katie uses this phrase, why not? And the first time I heard it, she was telling a story about Stephen Mitchell, her husband, and when Stephen proposed to her, Katie said, I'll think about it, and she thought about it for a few days. And then, as she tells the story, she couldn't see a reason why not, and so she said yes. That really puzzled me for a while. That seemed like a rather lame reason to say yes to a marriage proposal. And I began to notice in my life where I used the question why, and where I used the question why not. And I noticed that for me, the question why should I, why would I, tended, at least this time in my life, to be a question that closed things down. Why not was a question that opened things up. So my invitation to you this week, whether or not you're experiencing worry about the economy, is to notice in your own life, where are you saying why? And where are you saying why not? Thanks. Can't wait to talk to you again.